Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for logging in today. I really appreciate your time. To start out, I am going to share my screen. So I'll click on this. And what you should be seeing is the Alliance for Audited Media website. This is our brand new website. You'll notice that it was redesigned a number of weeks ago. So this is our brand new site. I wanted to start today by saying thank you again for attending our Media Intelligence Center News Media Data Training session today. My name is Jenny Anderson. I work here at AAM in the Client Solutions Department, and I am happy to be hosting today, so thanks so much. During this session, we are going to focus on changes to the Media Intelligence Center related to the recent newspaper reporting initiative. To briefly review some of the highlights of this initiative, we reinvented the audit by shifting away from a defined audit period to one focused on intermittent testing. This is to provide continued assurance while giving news media staff additional flexibility and time savings. We also prioritize zip code data by continuing to report info quarterly, but reduce the full data filing to twice per year, which is March and September. We required a 6-month news media statement. Again, that's March and September, that require the full data filing. We streamlined AAM reports by consolidating the subcategories in non-paid and digital SERP. So these changes began with the June 2020 quarterly zip code filing period and continue into the new September 2020 6-month news media statements currently being reported and released. So we're going from quarterly data reports to news media statements is the new term. Those are the 6-month statements. We moved forward with this initiative to simplify AAM rules, to streamline reports and eliminate extraneous data and requirements for our publisher clients, all while continue to deliver valuable planning data for media buyers. So today we will start this session by going over changes to the Media Intelligence Center main page, updates to brand view, and then finish with an overview of updates to 4 of the most popular reports in the News Media Analyzer. Those reports are the Executive Summary Report, Print Analysis Report, Digital Edition Analysis, and Distribution by Zip Code Report. So I'm going to go ahead and log into the Media Intelligence Center. You can see here right at the top of the page is that login notation. And here on the left-hand side is the Media Intelligence Center. So for those of you that don't have logins for the Media Intelligence Center, go ahead and give me a call, and my colleague as well. We can be reached at this number down here, this 224 number, and we can provide you with temporary credentials to create your brand new MIC login. So those that have a login currently, we go in and log in on the returning user side and click on Remember Me so that all of your info is saved right here. So we go ahead and click on Sign In. And here is the main page of the Media Intelligence Center. So I'd like to start by suggesting that you use either Chrome or Firefox as your internet browser when using the MIC. Those are 2 browsers that seem to work very well on our database. So let's take an overview of the main page. So I'm going to click on News Media here on the left-hand side under our media filter. So what that does is it says I'm now looking at newspaper data within the Media Intelligence Center. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Report Date, because with this here, Report Date, that's going to go ahead and show us the most recent period. So when I click on Report Date, you'll see under Report Date, it brings up the listing of newspapers by who has released that September 2020 data. So, of course, the most recent date that we have data is that September 2020 6-month news media statement. So March and September 6-month statement periods will be noted here on the front page. So you've got your name of your media property, and under here you can see report date, so that you know that September 2020 statement is released. Again, the 6-month statements will be noted on the front page. Zip code data for now are not represented on the front page. Zip data is available in the News Media Analyzer. It used to be called the Newspaper Analyzer, now renamed the News Media Analyzer, which I'm going to show you shortly how to access that info. Also on the main page, you can type your interested titles in the search by bar. So you could begin typing any sort of newspapers you wanted, Akron Beacon Journal. If you wanted to add to that, you would put a comma, no space, and just start typing in the next title. And then it's Chicago Tribune. And then if you wanted to add to that, comma, no space, your next title. I'm going to click reset here. You can also use the filters on the left-hand side. So under media, I check news media filter. And many of you who use the MIC regularly are pretty familiar with this. You can filter by circulation size, filter by parent company. You can filter by market, etc. So there's a lot that you can do in here using these filters or the search by bar. So it either expands or narrows your search. So now let's take a look at brand view. So I'm going to bring up a paper here that has brand view, and then we can take a look at their brand view. It's going to be the Birmingham News. So I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to click on the name in blue to access their brand view profile. And when I click on the name in blue, just as before, brand view allows a publisher to broaden the view of their newspapers and then also provide more information than just circulation. As the title represents, it is a complete brand view for these papers. Brand view starts with the overview tab and an explanation about the publication, which is noted here. You'll see we're on the overview tab. And then they also have a link to their media kit. If I go to the print distribution tab, you can see that here. This will update with new info every 6 months. So when a news media statement releases, it will automatically update in here. If you can see to the bottom of these grids, it says September 30th, 2020. So that is what's feeding all of these grids here. And you can also download these, just as you did prior for brand view. These are all downloadable if you'd like. The distribution map. This distribution map contains zip code data, and it's going to update with every quarterly release of zip code data. So if you note here, I can hover over a particular zip code, and you'll see the as of date is September 30th, 2020, because that's the most recent zip code data released for this title. And then as you continue through the tabs, if I scroll up here, you'll see that there's a new tab titled News Media Statements. This tab used to be the Quarterly Reports tab. So if you recall, when you used to click on a title in blue, you could go to a Quarterly Reports tab. That tab, again, has been renamed News Media Statements. And you can access new September and March 6-month statements via this tab. But don't forget, you can also access historical quarterly data reports by clicking the down arrow to the right of previous news media statements. So if I click on this arrow, you'll see here all of the history for this paper going back to Q3 2015. Going back to Q1 2015. Is noted right here in the previous news media statement tab. So all you have to do is click on a time period, and now you've got your Q1 2020 that pops up in a new window. So all of that history that you have on those quarterly reports are still here, and you can access them when you'd like. And then also something to not forget is when you're in brand view, don't forget that this link up here can be copied and you can share this link with anyone and they don't have to be an AAM client. So you can supply the brand view profile to anybody you really would like to, including the information included with brand view, and that can go to clients and non-clients of AAM. So we showed you how to access the brand view. So I'm going to exit out of here and go back to the main page. Now let's see how to access detailed distribution data and your zip code report via the News Media Analyzer. If you recall, we said the News Media Analyzer is housing your zip code data now. So now you can start by selecting your chosen publications. So I'm going to reset. And I'm going to go here on the left-hand side and I'm going to use my filters. So here I'm going to select News Media. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm actually going to use the circulation filter. So I'll click the plus sign to the right of circulation. And then I'm just going to start choosing specific ranges that I want represented for my newspapers. So I'm choosing 50,000 circ and above. No reason, just random choices. You can also choose 1 to 25,000 or 25,000 to 50,000. Now, once I've made my selections here, you'll see the number of my results is 156, as it lists right up here at the top. So what you want to do is you want to choose the square to the left of media property, because what that does is it chooses all of these titles for me. So that way all 156 can be chosen by simply placing a check mark to the left of media property. Something important to note, you have to select at least one title for that Analyze Data button to pop up. The Analyze Data button is the doorway to the News Media Analyzer. I receive a lot of questions asking, where is that News Media Analyzer? And you have to select at least one title here on the front page to click this Analyze Data button to have access to the News Media Analyzer. But once again, we're going to put a check mark to the left of media property and choose all 156. Now I'm going to click on Analyze Data. Now, you don't see a spinning, but it did come up, the results come up rather quickly because it was 156 titles. Now you'll see we've got a number of titles listed, tabs listed here. Again, here's our News Media Statement tab. So you can access it by clicking on Analyze Data as well. You can access Reports Library, Audit Status, but what we're interested in is the News Media Analyzer. Now, many of you may be familiar with the News Media Analyzer, but some may not. So really what this tool does is it enables you to download data into Excel, really any format that you want. PDF can be downloaded, etc., but most people download data into Excel. So these are people who want to do further analysis, perhaps they want to do pivot tables or filtering, etc. But you can download a lot of information via this tool. So not only the zip code data for our current newspaper reporters, but many other data, which I'll show you as well. So now that we're in the News Media Analyzer tab, you'll see under Select Data Source, you'll note that News Media Statement has replaced Quarterly Data Report. So that's the first thing you see that has changed. And it also is the default checkmark. So when you come into the News Media Analyzer, you'll see that News Media Statement is automatically selected. You can deselect it and select audited data as your source. But since we're moving forward with News Media Statements, I'm going to leave that selected under our Select Data Source. We still have the same reports available under Select Report, but some of the category options in the reports have changed. And this is based on our newspaper simplification initiative. Today, we will be reviewing the executive summary report, which is right here, the print analysis, digital edition analysis, and distribution by zip code reports. Prior to me going into each of these reports, I'd like to explain to you the options that you have to access reports. So for everything listed here, you can export a report directly into Excel. And that report's going to have predetermined column headers, meaning you didn't get to choose them. You're just exporting right away, which the export contains the majority of the possible categories chosen. So if you're in a quick hurry and want to access a report that way, go ahead and click on that button. If you want to view the report prior to exporting it, you can click View Report. And you can see here what categories are included. And if this is sufficient for you and this is okay, you can click Export. Click this down arrow in the window and choose your preferred format. XLSX is the most recent, and click OK. And your report will download. Your third option to access a report is the Modify option, and this is the one I use in general. And you'll see why. When I click on Modify, you'll note here that a window pops up and it gives me my category choices. Now, the ones that are grayed out are automatically included in my report, but I can pick and choose additional breakouts if I want by clicking on the checkmark box to the left of the category, or I can click Select All. Once I've made my choices, I go up here to the upper right and I click on the Submit button. And here we are with our report ready to be exported. You click on that Export button, choose your preferred format and click OK, and your data will download into Excel. So remember these three options when trying to access your report. But for this webinar, I'm going to use the Modify option because I want you to see the categories in each of these reports as we go over some of the changes. So I'm going to click on Modify to the right of Executive Summary. So again, you see your categories listed in here. In the previous version of the Executive Summary report, paid, qualified, and verified print circulation was broken out, as well as paid and qualified digital replica and non-replica. So the updated report represents the consolidation of reporting categories by providing a total print number, which you'll see here, a total digital replica number, and a total digital non-replica number. One of the main consolidations had to do with the inclusion of verified circulation with qualified circulation. So now, whenever you produce a report, let's say from September 2020 data moving forward, that verified data is going to be included in qualified. So you'll see here, if you want to access historical verified data prior to the 9/2020 period, you can use this report. So what this will do is this will provide you, if you choose a historical year prior to that September 2020, you can access that total verified data. 9/2020 and on, it will be included in total qualified. So as I close it, I'll show you, I just mentioned accessing a historical reporting period. Current reporting period here is automatically checked. So it pulls in the most recently released report for every paper. If I choose historical reporting period, you'll see here I have a number of this news media statement period, but also quarters I can choose from. If you want that verified data from Q1, you can select this time period and it'll pull the reports for that time period. But I still want to focus on current reporting period. So now we covered the executive summary, the executive summary report. So let's move on to print analysis. I'm going to go over and click the Modify to the right of print analysis so that we can go over print analysis as well. So you'll see here there's further number of categories that you can choose from here. You can also see the consolidation of categories even further in this report. We still have home delivery. You see here individually paid home delivery and mail print. We still have single copy. We also have total individually paid print. We have our business traveler number as well. So those breakouts we still have. However, you'll note here joint distribution is missing. It is now included with home delivery. So don't forget to remember that that joint distribution is included with home delivery. The updated print analysis report shows total paid print. See that right there? Total qualified print and total print. Total circulation. Verified, once again, is included with that qualified number. But however, just like with the executive summary report, if you want to access historical verified data prior to 9/2020, you can use this report. So that executive summary and that print analysis report allows you to access that historical data. So once you make your choices, again, you can select all or pick and choose. You click submit, and then you can export that data. I'm going to close out of here because I'm going to move on to the next report that is one of the most popular, and that is digital edition analysis. This is concerning print. This next one is concerning digital. So I'm going to once again go into the modify button to the right of this report. And you'll notice here, again, a number of categories. Those in gray are automatically included in your report. Once again, you'll see the consolidation of categories in this digital edition analysis report. So in the updated report, digital replica is broken out by paid subs. You'll see here paid subs, digital replica. You'll also see single copy as well. And then there's paid and qualified. You've got paid and qualified, non-replica, and replica. So if you go down here, you've got paid, digital replica, single copy. You've got total paid digital replica, total qualified, and then total. Then you've got your total paid and qualified digital non-replica and total digital non-replica. So the total paid and total qualified, that's at that level only, no category breakouts. So you'll see here, total paid, total qualified is it for non-replica. So again, when you want to choose your categories, you can select all or pick and choose and click on submit, and that will take you to your export screen. But now I want to focus on one of the very most popular reports that is in the News Media Analyzer. And that's the distribution by zip code report. I get a lot of questions about where is my zip code data. So remember to select your publications, click Analyze Data, and come into the News Media Analyzer. But today I just want to go over the distribution by zip code report. And again, I'm going to use the plus sign to the right of this report to click on my modify option. And you can see almost every single category is automatically selected in this report. So in the previous version of this report, total paid individually, home delivery mail, single copy, and business traveler categories were broken out. So the updated ZIP report represents the consolidation of reporting categories by providing categories at the total level only, including total paid, total qualified, total circulation, total projected circulation. Verified, once again, is included with qualified. So I've received a number of questions about those home delivery mail and single copy business traveler breakouts. Again, we're providing the zip code data at the total level only. So you can pick and choose. The only thing that's really not chosen is analyzed day a week, parent company, delivery vehicle, website, and pub type. So you can select all, and then you can click submit. And then that takes you to your screen where you can export that data. So this is a lot of zip code data, so that's why it took a couple seconds for it to come up. And from here, and remember, this is zip code data for all of those publications we brought into the analyzer tool. So this is where you can now export your data, choose your preferred format and click OK, and that downloads your report. So you'll notice that when you're choosing each of these reports, that they have been consolidated and modified somewhat. So we wanted to go over reviewing those just so that you're not surprised when you go in there and are looking for a particular category. And we covered the 4 really most popular reports, especially the zip code report, which is always popular. And then again, with the zip code report, remember, you can use this report to access that verified circulation prior to September 2020. So I'm going to close out of here. And then that is our news media data training session for today. One last reminder, I'm going to scroll up here and go up to the top where you see the for support square here. There is an email, it's micenter@auditedmedia.com, and then there's also an 877 number, 222-0932. The email and the phone number both come directly to me. So if you're in the newspaper analyzer, you're in the Media Intelligence Center, you've got a question, don't be shy to reach out and contact me. I'd be happy to go over any of the changes or walk you through how to export a particular report, or even to access any other data that you need. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate all of your time and hope that you have a very nice evening. Thank you.